So there are a lot of things I hate about this administration, but one of the biggest reasons I hate them is because of their blatant hate and disrespect towards the transgender community. I've stated many times that having a good conversation about transgender athletes in sports could be healthy. However, these people are very hateful and disingenuous, so they're not the people I would even want at that table. Right now, the Trump administration is threatening to withhold federal funds from California schools because, according to them, California needs to write an apology letter to all the young women who lost titles to transgender athletes. I want you to watch this video of Linda McMahon talking about this, and I want you to recognize the hate that she's spewing. But while you're listening to her speak, I want you to keep in mind, keep in the back of your head that Linda McMahon is married to Vince McMahon, who is quite possibly a sexual predator who aided and abetted another sexual predator. So while Linda McMahon is pretending to want to protect girls and women, just remember she is actually right now protecting a sexual predator.
And what exactly is the remedy for this?
There are several steps to it, but I'll just kind of sum it up for you. They really need to send a letter of apology to all of the participants, female participants in sports. They need to return the titles that were taken away from these women who competed and lost to male in the sports. And they just have to make it right to those women competitors.
Well, you know, California, they probably won't do that. So what happens if they continue to violate and you don't get those, the letter, you don't get the apology and the titles given to biological girls?
Well, they run the risk of losing their federal funding, in their K through 12 schools, and that's where these infractions were committed.
So quick side note, this shit is funny. The Fox News host is Ainsley Earhardt. I like how she's sitting there with her somber, caring concern for women look on her face. Meanwhile, she was having an affair with Sean Hannity while he was married. And now he, who's like 20 years older than she is, has left his wife for her. I swear, if it weren't for double standards, these people would have no standards at all. But I digress. Linda McMahon is making this statement like there were so many transgender women in athletics in California. But if you actually look at it, there was like 1 to 5 of them. But the one she's the most concerned about is A.B. Hernandez because she won a state title. But the state decided to award the state title to the biological female as well. So they gave a state title to A.B. Hernandez and the biological female. I don't know what they called it or anything like that, but I just know they both got state titles. So therefore, Linda McMahon is full of shit. And the only reason she's on Fox News talking about this is because they hate the LGBTQIA plus community that much. That is why she called A.B. Hernandez a male athlete. They don't even recognize transgender or intersex people at all. And how the hell does the federal government even think they can withhold federal funds from K through 12 because of athletics? They're willing to put every student in California at risk of not having funding because they hate transgender people that much. In this next clip, she talks about Gavin Newsom and how she sent a letter to him a long time ago to put an end to this.
You know, it's very interesting to hear Governor Newsom say that it's a matter of fairness. It's easy, talk is cheap. Well, I think he needs to put his money where his mouth is. And several months ago, when this first happened, I sent him a letter and asked him to do just that if he's talking about fairness. But there was no action taken on his part. So he talks about it, but he doesn't do anything about it. So we've stepped in. We've investigated. Our Office of Civil Rights investigated this thoroughly and found that that was an infraction. And so now we are demanding that they take action or will take action.
Isn't it crazy the length these people will go to stop 1 to 5 transgender athletes from competing in sports? But they would never send a letter or write legislation or do anything to stop mass shootings from happening at schools. In the time that they're fighting to keep transgender females out of sports, they've also watched multiple pastors switch churches after sexually assaulting kids, and they haven't said a damn word about that. They do not care about girls or women, they care about power. And what keeps them in power is perpetuating hate towards a community that their entire base hates. And this is why, again, For me, it'll always be fuck Donald Trump and fuck his racist, homophobic administration. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.